As I said, this is one of the most embarrassing moments for me because I have always been in front of Khushru ji saying, sir, sir, sir. And today is something where I'm going to grill him on a few questions. So Khushru ji, please excuse me on whatever questions that I ask.
No problem, but first of all, a very good evening to all of you.
So Khushru ji, you have always been on the front seat. I mean, even from an education point of view, you have been on the front seat as far as any ups and downs of the industry is concerned. You have been a banker, you have been a treasury manager in an agrochemical.
Like you.
Not like me, sir. You are far, far superior to me. And then you have been with the Piramal group, not only doing only one part, but I think practically every aspect of their business. Before we get into this industry, I want to begin with something more personal. What made you get up in the morning and come to work? I mean, you have seen all the ups and downs, right? The toughest faces you have seen. But what is it that keeps you going? Subah utke chalo aaj वापस मुझे जाना है.
So, I suppose it's my nature. Probably, I don't want to sound pompous, but I think it's my nature. And when I look back, right from childhood, because I came from a small business family, and even in my holidays, they never used to allow me to play. They used to say, okay, you spend time understanding business. So maybe that could be one of the reasons, maybe, that, you know, from day one, I was told that whatever you do, you are responsible and you better take ownership. You know, this very interesting thing you said about waking up in the morning, I want to share with others. Hopefully it will help them also, because we all have good days and bad days. And since you said, I said, let me share it with you. Very early, when I was very small, and I don't remember which year, I used to read in the papers the Olympics, because that time television to tha nahi, apne time. And there were two, I think German runners. Both were competing 400 meters and 800 meters. So both were really tight. Always they were competing. So I remember reading in the paper that one guy wins that 400 meters. The next day, the other guy wins the 800 meters. And in the interview, he says, very important, which I follow. They ask him that, what did you do different? He says, okay, yesterday was my bad day, so I normally sleep to win another day. I actually have followed that, Srini. That on a bad day, when you're getting the badgering, and it happens, you get the badgering. My advice, and please try to follow it, I have followed it. I just bend down, keep quiet, go to sleep, next day I bounce back.
Amazing.
And that's what I want to share with all of you all. Hopefully it will help you all also. Because otherwise you can really get butchered. So I follow this all the time. If on a bad day, I just go into a shell, go early to sleep. Next morning, believe me, I get up and I plan how to hit back. So that's what I do.
Sir. Amazing, sir. I mean, the sales team today, they had a lot of, I don't think they had a great day with me today, but please come tomorrow to work. Please understand what Khushru ji has said.
Or they can meet me.
Yeah, you can meet him after this session. So you have often said tough times don't last, but tough people do. Where does that come from? Was it shaped by a defining moment or built over time through your journey?
First of all, before I answer, I must tell you that if you have to be in real estate, you better follow this. So I've had many jokes on all of us in the past, and I'll answer it, but since you're prompting me, and I heard, I think Madhuji speaking about real estate toughness, and it brought me my sick jokes about real estate, that a developer is walking on the street. One guy, for no rhyme or reason, comes and slaps him. The developer goes and says, okay, please slap me on the other cheek also. Because that is the developer. He never gets credit ever in life. Coming to your question, I think tough people last. I think everybody knows that. It's nothing new. For me, this phrase is not out of the book. It's over the period I've observed a lot of people. And all of you will be able to relate to me that I have seen developers, smartest. But when the pressure comes, bad days come now, or for a year, they crumble. They are not able to manage. Whereas there is some developers, so pura din mehnat karte, they keep on. Ultimately, they reach that goal. So that is why I always say it is that long term. You have to be there in the long term. Personally, I have myself faced in my career a lot of tough situations. All of you have done it. So when I was in the Tata company in 1990, I joined 89. There used to be this unionized staff and all that. You were in Garda.
Yes.
And one fine day, there was a union strike and I was very young. And I was running with the checks. I was doing computer work and the union came and badgered me saying, how can you do that? But I gave it back. Ye to kaam hi hai, karna hi hai. Same in 2008, 2013 and ILFS crisis, COVID, etc. But very important, Srini, and to all of y'all, I would confess very humbly, never think that we are doing it all alone. I think we must acknowledge that you can do it if you have a fantastic team. You must acknowledge that. You cannot do it on your own. Impossible. Second is, do not, I would say, belittle the support you get from your true friends and family. And third, I don't know how many will be able to relate, but I truly believe is in nature. Because when you have done something right or kiska galat kaam nahi karta na, believe me, nature will take you out.
The karma.
So, karma. So I believe in that. So that is why it keeps me going. I'm not afraid of tough moments.
So amazing, sir. I think giving credit to the team, I think it's truly inspiring. Mere baal rongte khade ho rahe hain. I'm not joking. So I think you are an inspiration to people like us and also the youngsters. I'm no longer young, but there are a lot of youngsters who have not seen all this. But I think it's an eye opener for them. Now coming to my favorite topic, sir. We were very closely working at that point in time, 2015 to 2020, right? The ILFS crisis, the NBFC slowdown. What did you see from your side of the table? I mean, I was on the other side of the table. I have seen, sir, I have heard, and being close to Piramal, I know what all you guys went through. But everyone said at that point in time, if someone stood like a rock, that was Khushru Jijina. And this is an outside thing. I've never spoken to you about all this, Khushru ji. I mean, we want to really understand, how did you spend those days?
It's not a memory I want to go back to. ILFS crisis, without a doubt, was till now, my toughest moment of my life. The toughest days of my life, I will acknowledge, was ILFS crisis. I remember this, Srini, the very day I was coming back to India from Switzerland. And my treasury guy called me and said that tomorrow we'll default 500 crores. So I said, what happened? Ho gaya? He said, you don't know.
500 crores.
500 crores. ILFS crisis hua hai. And this ILFS crisis moved so fast. Within a week, sab kuch band ho gaya. There was no pause. It was all closed. Financing was totally closed. And we just didn't know what to do. At that moment, we were one of the largest funders to real estate. 85,000 crores we had supported every developer. And this real estate business is such, it's a cycle. Means, for example, if I've given money to you, you have to complete the project and then the customer will pay you and then you get your money back. You can't stop in the way and say, ki abhi mera paisa wapis de. So it became a vicious cycle. And I don't know how to explain. You will not be able to relate. Still, I'm telling you what we went through. That every day was a challenge. Believe me, that daily challenge word was true here. Every single day was a challenge. For weeks and weeks, we didn't know next day bankrupt hoenge ke nahi hoenge. Like any other NBFC. And we got through. Then it became weekly. Then it became monthly. And then we got out. But coming back, every day developers were calling, thoda paisa deo, complete karna hai. We were calling up our lenders who were closed our lines suddenly. And toughest moments of our life, Naveen is here. He was part of my team. And we have seen that. And to accentuate that, and it happens, I think, जब भी खराब होता है, सब कुछ खराब ही होता है. RBI obviously was looking at everything. They were asking questions. Media reports are rightly so. So, you are being badgered from all sides. Clearly, I think the most toughest and the most difficult time of me and my entire team. But something which I want to share. I don't want to share all these crying stories. What I want to share will surprise all of you. Before all this happened, many of my speeches I used to say, and I used to practice it also, Srini, that for me, giving money to the person, the promoter, the developer is more important than the project. I used to always say that. थोड़ा मैं exaggerate करता था टीम के साथ कि ये Excel sheet मुझे मत दिखाओ, मैं कचरे के डब्बे में फेंकता था. It was just an exaggeration, but of course वो भी देखता था. But that relationship came to my rescue in the ILFS crisis. Do you know that, Srini? That came to my rescue. 9 out of 10, अभी हम लोग बोला ना कि सब चोर है, developer लोग. 9 out of 10 developers didn't let me down in ILFS
Superb,
crisis.
sir. I think
I'm
a big
telling you,
hand for all of us sitting here.
I'm telling you, reverse relationship हुआ. कितने लोग ने अपना अच्छा लैंड भी बेच दिया कि नो डोंट वरी वी विल पे यू, क्योंकि हम तकलीफ हमको थी ना, एवरीडे वी हैड टू पे. People sold their property, जो भी किया. 9 out of 10 developers did not let me down. I'll give some examples without naming. One developer in Bombay, you know them, 1500 crore का लाइन उनको सैंक्शन हो गया for a LRD to replace us. Now, unfortunately, that public sector bank would have taken 7 days to give them the sanction. Unfortunately for them, the next day I required 700 crores. Otherwise, I would have defaulted.
I was on the other side arranging
That's
for
why I
that 700.
And I called the promoter and I told him कि मेरे को 700 करोड़ कल का कल चाहिए. He said कि खुशरू जी अगर ये मेरा पूरा सेटिंग खराब हो गया, मेरा भी नुकसान हो जाएगा पूरा. I said मेरे पास चॉइस नहीं है. And you know the promoter went to the bank and signed for 700 crores, and till date he suffered ultimately because of that decision. But he supported me. One of the biggest guys now, probably the top 3 in India, where we had given a lot of money, continuously came and met proactively कि don't worry, we are there, we will support you and we'll clean it up करके. I'll give an example of a private sector bank. Today I'm not going to name anybody. That bank, my chairman called in the evening and said that we need funds from you and we'll repay you back. So he said कि अरे वो Jijina को भेज. He knew me. So I went and met the CEO, very dynamic person, now retired. And
We all have to find out who these guys are.
And I went with my team, Sosha, presentation, they बताने के लिए. And if I give you the name, you'll be able to relate to it. He told me, Jijina, ये सबको बार. तो मेरे को लगा कि नहीं देने वाला है. ऐसे ही बैठा था. He bent and told me, Jijina, पैसा वापस आएगा कि नहीं तू बता. I said 110% आएगा, मैं ऐसा दे दूंगा. He said sanctioned. That's the relationship which plays a role in these type of situations. Again, Srini, if I look at you, today we became friends because of that relationship. You had nothing to do with me in that way, but I used you to help me out for some Bangalore thing. Ratanji became my very good friend only in these times. So really, if one takes a step back and looks at this from me, the key words were relationship. You have to be humble to go to anybody. That is what I want to share. You have to be humble. You cannot say, at one time I'm so big, why would I go? Right? And I think you need to believe in nature ultimately. And one more learning in this, let's not wish it away, is financial discipline. I think what everyone went wrong, in whether it was developer or us in NBFC, we were concentrating on the asset side. Today, Mr. Madhusudan also mentioned that. And he rightly said that growth will automatically come. आप discipline, processes और funding, liability side manage करो. मैं भी अभी वो मानता हूँ. So this is my answer to your short question.
Amazing. I think, I'm sure you don't want to remember those days, but I'm sure it has made you much more stronger than
Absolutely.
what you were. Now, sir, a very thing that has been intriguing me. I was on the other side when the crisis happened. Now, was this crisis just a money problem, or there was a systemic issue in real estate when the money was flowing? We just put it under the carpet. Did it expose deeper issues around execution, governance, discipline, financial discipline, everything?
I'll be very honest. I think liquidity was just the trigger.
Exactly.
The real issue was lack of governance. So ILFS also collapsed because of lack of governance.
Perfect, sir.
But even if you take this governance issue to our sector, even we realized very, very quickly in these difficult times that whether we like it or not, we are all from the same sector. even our sector was having the lack of governance. Right?
NBFC.
No, I'm not talking about NBFCs alone.
real estate.
Even the real estate.
100%. Yeah.
There were developers who were just gumawing money. Even when RERA was there, it was just going on and on. There was no financial closure. Today, such a simple thing like financial closure, even today we are not following many of them. So it's not only about the liquidity. Let's take an example. In those times, even two projects for different developers on the same street, one would get complete, another will not get complete because of lack of governance by one of them. So, one of the things I want to say, and it's my learning, that what is real governance? See, people are talking about कि अभी governance आ गया, RERA has come, this has come, that. Those are enablers to governance. What is governance? Governance is your self-governance.
Exactly.
Like today, I can proudly say that I don't want to launch a single project without financial closure. I just don't want to do it. Because you are making something which is most important to the Indian public. This is the home. So you have to, the self-governance is what is governance. So that's what I think we all need to learn and follow.
Thank you, Khushru ji. You have met hundreds and hundreds of developers. I mean, अगर आपने 10 से काम किया तो आप 100 लोगों को मिले होंगे. What are those 2 or 3 traits which consistently showed up in those who came through these stronger? They emerged stronger. What are those 2-3 traits that really helped them see through this?
So, funnily, way back in 2017, and as I said today, I'm not going to name anybody. I used to give live examples. Way back in 2017, I was having breakfast with one of the top newspapers, editor in Delhi, in Taj. And we were talking some other things, and just off the cuff, he asked me, कि आपको क्या लगता है ये the way developers are going, क्या होएगा? मैंने बोला 90% मरने वाले हैं सब. And next day it came as a headline that as per me 90% will die and everybody became against me. So why did I say that? Because I had already started seeing, again I don't want to be pompous, I had started seeing the change. I think Mr. Madhusudan also today spoke about it. I had started seeing the change in this whole sector. Especially Bombay, which I'm from. Old Jamane mein kya tha, when I was a MD of Unitern Realty, many developers used to come and say कि अभी आप कर लो project. I said, why? He said, हमारा तो approval आ गया, FSI मिल गया, अभी क्या है? अभी तो बनाने का किसका भी काम है. So those days were changing. Customers were slowly becoming the center or centric. Mr. Madhusudan, you also said the same thing today. Of this whole industry, which was not there. Otherwise, people used to treat customers like shit. At least Bombay, I am not sure about Bangalore, but Bombay is for sure. So that was changing. And I was clear that ये सब लोग मरने वाले हैं. And it actually happened. But I'll come to your question that what are the 2-3 things which I think. One, and I said it before also, after 2017, that this industry is actually moving into an FMCG industry. The customer is the king. Also, his tastes are changing now. It's not that oh, एक ही चीज उसको पसंद है, कल दूसरा चीज. So we need to adapt continuously. So not only the customer has to be at the center of the business, you have to start predicting how he will behave, what is his likes and preferences, because that is changing. It's like an FMCG. That is number one. Number two, clearly financial discipline and governance. It's a simple thing. Nobody follows. No, I wouldn't say nobody follows. Many don't follow. We have to follow it to the T. And third, you will agree with me probably, which we don't talk about. In our community of development, because I'm on both sides, so I can talk. You also spoke today, promoter. It's a very heavy promoter-driven industry.
Yes.
We don't build teams. We don't spend enough time on really building a good team, give them all the authority, opportunity, and tell them go for it. And the processes, etc. I think if we just follow the simple things like any other industry, I think we are there.
So, sir, you acknowledge that DaaS is going to be important for...
Absolutely. In fact, not only I acknowledge, I don't want to just say, सब लोग बोलेगा कि वो तो हाँ ही बोला. I'll be the first to give you this. चलो.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I am your good friend.
Yes.
Not your darling. I want to clarify. I'm not your darling.
No. We know that. Okay, sir. One more question. In the moments of uncertainty, what do you depend on? Your hunch or judgment or data-driven decision?
क्या क्वेश्चन पूछता है?
सर ये सब थोड़ा थोड़ा डैश में भी आता है ना, तो मैं बोला थोड़ा घुसा दूं.
So I think a mix of both, and I explain why I'm saying. See, data basically you need. It tells you what has happened. Judgment is something which will tell you what is going to happen. So let me explain. So when the ILFS crisis, COVID, all that had, all my team was doing number crunching. ये प्रोजेक्ट किधर है, 40% complete, 60% complete, ये है वो है, is there money left for the developer to make, otherwise वो भाग जाएगा, और सब डेटा. With that I took judgmental calls because it's beyond that. Ultimately देखना चाहिए कि ultimately वो developer का mindset क्या है. Means basically, is it only money? Is it his intention to get money from outside the project? What is it? And that's the judgmental call which you need to take, which will actually differentiate between the success and the failure. Let me give you an example. One developer in BKC, he had a joint venture with the landlord. I had all the personal guarantees of the landlord. वो landlord भाग गया. That poor chap completed the project.
The other guy.
And I actually funded him another 25 crores that time. Took that call कि यार सब लोग बोला कि पागल हो गया. मैं बोला नहीं, complete करने दो. Complete किया.
And you got your money.
And I got my money back with interest. One Bangalore-based developer, I don't want to name, probably one of the top at one time, he came up with an idea कि सब banks और institution का haircut लेगा तो वही profit है. So even with the ability, it didn't complete. So data went wrong. So it's ultimately your judgment. And this, I must confess, it takes years to develop that judgment.
The gray hair is important.
Yeah.
So, sir,
And you have more than me. So,
but I don't want to complete this. There are two more questions. Last two questions, I promise.
sure.
Markets are strong today. I have seen 2007, 2008. Paisa hi paisa hai. Every building is a relaunch. And you look at Bombay, Ghatkopar, and you look at Khar, Bandra. Every second building is under redevelopment. Every project is a success. First day, 150 crores. Second day, 300 crores. Does this scare you?
Very pertinent question you have asked. You are very right. So post-COVID, in fact, that was my other prediction. I had come on television post-COVID and made a statement that this is the golden period now for real estate. And many thought I have gone mad. And actually proved right. Because post-COVID, that trigger, it suddenly started, people started appreciating homes more. And then this journey started. And I saw many of these so-called non-corporate developers, etc., they were all dying. Either they became landlords, some came to and said कि अभी मेरे को धंधा ही नहीं करना है, tension नहीं चाहिए. They gave and went and gave it to another developer, आप complete करो. So I thought it's a great, best time for the industry. But as you know, again, markets went up crazily. Sales started moving like crazy. Again, developers said, I don't need funding, मेरा sales ही हो रहा है यार, मैं क्या करूँ? Again, these dead people have started coming up, and that scares me. I just hope this time that the market, which is nothing but the customer, the lender, etc., sees through this time and not encourages them to again do the wrong thing.
The over-leveraging.
Yes, that is my worry. Too early to say. Hopefully it should not be the same. But yes, I am actually seeing a year ago, developers whom in my mind I had predicted as gone, I'm seeing them again.
Coming back.
So this is my worry. If they come back with the reformed, as reformed, no harm. That you have learned your lesson. But if you follow the same old tricks, again this industry is going to be getting a bad name.
So we have also seen significant price rise in Bangalore. Bangalore has never seen this kind of heated up.
Yeah.
I live in North Bangalore. Khushru, there was a time I was selling at 4,000 rupees. Today the cost of construction is 4,000 rupees. Right? So these are, in my opinion, so long as I keep our eyes and ears open and do it in a steady manner, I think that is our responsibility towards this industry. Last question. 2 cents of yours, sir. If you have to advise someone starting out today, what is the one thing they must internalize? Not just to succeed, but to endure and build something that truly lasts. Ultimately, endurance is important.
So I'm actually very poor at giving very heavy gyan. I somehow find it difficult. But I'll break it up into something simple and which everybody will be able to appreciate. I think these are all simple things in life. One, I would say organization and governance for sure. Build good teams, give them the authority, delegate, have processes, checks and balances is very equally important. Huh? Not that CEO ko pura power de do.
The DaaS dashboard.
Yeah. I'm coming to DaaS, chair. I'm coming, Baba. I'm coming. Itna utawla mat ho. I'm coming. Second, governance I already mentioned. You must have the governance. Also, we as developers should be clear that personal wealth is different and project wealth is different. वो separate रखो भाई. Otherwise ये mix करके तो वापस गड़बड़ हो गया. Second would be operations. One, as I told you, in operations, be clear that the customer is like an FMCG. But the most important thing, which even Mr. Madhusudan touched upon, is technology. I clearly believe next 5 years we are going to see technology in a way which we cannot imagine. I am fully on that. So DaaS plays that role. That's why I said कि मैं तेरे को दे दिया एक project. मैं सुन के ही बोला कि तेरे को देने का है. But beyond AI and all that today, I am saying, somebody told me 2 years ago that somebody can sell per square feet to customer. I would have laughed. Tokenization is happening. The other day I met one youngster who was showing me a program. Through his program and with less salespeople, you can increase sales. Because that program AI is telling the sales guy कि ये जो customer जो अंदर आया है वो कौन सा लेने वाला है. Amazing. I was amazed.
Amazing.
So these things are going to happen. Please, everybody embrace technology like never before. Because जो 5 साल में जो होने वाला है, I don't think we can even imagine. So that's something which is very important. Third, financial closure hona chahiye, financial discipline. Please keep an eye. As a promoter, you should keep an eye. So I follow this. I tell my CEO, I will keep an eye on the liability side. It will help you to grow. It's not my job to do the growth. Wo tu kar. And fourth, personally, also, you need to be humble. Create relationships because yehi kaam aate hain. But last but not the least, think big. Think big. I always believe you have to think big. Because you're thinking small, you can't really grow. That's my simple answer. Yeah.
So I'm a little greedy. One last question.
Arey.
Abhi sir, you have been on the investing side, looking at people. Now you're a developer yourself, right? How does it feel to sit on this hot seat?
No, so I was always a developer first.
Yes.
You're forgetting that.
Piramal Realty.
My journey actually started as an executive director of Piramal Suntech.
So you had interviewed me at that point in time.
You've forgotten. Then
you didn't take me that time.
Then I was an MD of Piramal Realty. So for me, going into as MD of Piramal Capital was very easy because I understood our problems. That's why I always use our as in developer, even when I was MD of Piramal Capital. So for me, I'm more a developer. So it's actually the other way around.
Sure. Thank you very much, Khushruji. It's great having you here.
Thank you. A big round of applause for our, what a powerful conversation and words of wisdom from Mr. Jijina. Indeed, tough situations do not last, but tough people do. So thank you so much. Can I now...